What is going on? Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. It is Tuesday, July 27th. And for your weekly math lesson, it is episode number 30. I am here with my co-host, John Taman. How you doing,
Hello.
buddy?
I'm doing great. I just got back from the dentist, although I got to tell you, while the hygienist was working on my teeth, I accidentally put my Uber money in her panties, and then I had to beg for her to give it back to me.
Oh, okay. Well,
I had a pocket full of ones on the right and a 10 on the left, and I completely forgot which was which.
I hate when that happens, man. I hate when that happens. Well, as many of you probably saw, I sent out a tweet yesterday. Unfortunately, we have decided to part ways with our co-host Keith. He started some drama on Twitter last week, and we are a wholesome, lighthearted family podcast. We want to kind of stay in that direction. But like I said, we have a new co-host all the way from, I'm not exactly sure where, Keitho. Keitho, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the Bleeding Birdie podcast. We're glad to have you.
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on your show.
My goodness. Keitho, may I compliment you right there on how low your balls must be hanging for the voice to be that deep.
I appreciate that, John. Once again, thanks for having me on the show. My big balls appreciate you too.
Now, for the folks that aren't watching on YouTube, that are listening on the podcast, you are wearing a mask, and it's it's a burgundy and gold mask. So that's you got that going for you.
Yes.
Can we ask you why you are wearing a mask?
Well, in my culture, this is what we do. I'm a fearless leader. That's why you chose me to be on the show, Jesse, because you know that I'm a fearless leader, and I'm here to give expert analysis on our very own Washington football team. Thanks for asking, Jesse.
Yeah, hey, no problem.
We're very culturally sensitive on this podcast. And Jesse, where he comes from, they wear masks and they drag their balls in the sand.
Hey, I get it. I get it. Speaking of where you're from, where are you from?
I'm actually, I'm very far away. I'm from Idaho.
Idaho. Okay.
Yeah.
That is pretty far away.
That's pretty far away.
Yeah.
So what made you become a fan of the Washington football team?
Because I really like the Redskins. Redskins were my favorite team.
Neighbors?
Yes. I really like the colors. Burgundy and gold until I'm dead and cold. See, Jesse, what you need to understand is I'm not like your other co-host. That guy Keith. I've heard your show before. We
don't talk about him anymore.
Right.
We don't talk about him anymore.
That guy was totally full of himself. It's unbelievable.
Could you believe he wouldn't wash his feet?
No, I mean, it was absolutely disgusting. I mean, in my culture in Idaho, we wash our feet every single night. It's almost a part of our ritual, but I'm sure as
you're not alone.
Right. I'm sure as you get to know me, Jesse, you'll know that I like to wash my feet. I mean, that guy, Keith, absolutely full of himself. Disgusting. He's despicable. I mean, all that guy did on your show, Jesse, was talk about himself. I mean, I don't know, I would have gotten rid of him 4 episodes ago. I mean, how many times, Jesse, did we have to hear about him being the fan ambassador?
Oh, ready to puke.
Whoop-de-doo! You're the fan ambassador. You know Jason Wright. Whoop-de-doo, buddy. No one cares. What we care about is the burgundy and gold. So let's start talking about sports, Jesse.
Let's do it.
Yeah! I get pumped up. Burgundy and gold till I'm dead and cold. Yeah!
All right. Well, let's talk about the burgundy and gold. And the news of the week is big man John Allen was inked to an extension for 4 years, $72 million. And I mean, me personally, I'm glad that we inked him. And a lot of people that I've saw that think it's too much money, but you have to actually look at the contract as a whole. Okay. It's an extension. This 5th-year option is still in play here. So it really only averages out to about $15 million a year. So it's really not nearly as bad as some people are making it out to be. John, I want to start with you. What do you think about the signing of John Allen?
I love it. I absolutely love it. I just love it. Listen, this is the guy that began the build, right? He's the guy that began the build. I know there's a lot of you guys like this up in Idaho, but right, he was the first pick of the first part of the build.
Don't make fun of my culture, or I'll change.
I'm not making
your
fun
name.
of your culture.
I'll
There's a
change
reason
your name.
why you wear masks.
I'll have your name changed right now.
El Jono, that doesn't quite work.
You look like
back to the build. Back to the build, John.
All right, so yeah, I think that he was the first pick of the first part of this iteration of the Washington football team that was previously the Washington Redskins. But he's a leader. I would follow that guy through a brick wall. And when I say that, it's because he'll knock it down first and I can just step over the rubble. But I would. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's absolutely a leader. I've seen people up there that are talking about, oh, sometimes his sack numbers or his pressure numbers aren't. Look, it doesn't matter. When Jonathan Allen's on the field, Jonathan Allen leads that defense. And that's all there is to it. And between him and Payne, or him and Settle, or him and Ioannidis, or any iteration of that's twice I've used that word, any grouping of them, the fact that they can collapse the pocket is going to make such a difference to our entire defense, and will for a long time now. I'm glad they signed John Allen. These people that are complaining about the money, look, this year's biggest deal ever is nothing in 2 years. Yeah, relax.
Exactly.
Just relax.
Exactly. Yeah, we have a lower salary cap this year because of COVID, but it's going to skyrocket next year and the year after that and the year after that. I'm not worried about the money whatsoever. You know what got me is when I think this was, I want to say this was his rookie year. He was getting interviewed, and I can't remember the exact quote, but he said he was just here to kick ass.
Yeah,
and that
he
right
gets paid
there,
to kick ass for a living.
Exactly. That right there, that's what you want to anchor that defensive line and run that defensive unit. He's the captain, man. Everybody looks to him, and we got him. He put out that tweet, Washington for life. I got chills when I saw that. I did.
I was so happy.
Yeah. El Keitho, what's your take on the Jonathan Allen signing?
Well, Brian and Steve, I completely agree. I think he is a natural born leader. He loves his football team the same way we love our football team. He has pretty much shown his support for loving his football team since day one, right? So when I saw that tweet too, absolutely, Steve, I completely agree. When he tweeted out, not only did I have goosebumps, but I got a little stiff too. And I have to tell you, in my culture, we get stiff a lot.
The goats are in trouble.
Uh-oh. Watch out.
What I like about this whole thing, though, what I love about this whole thing is he definitely got paid what he deserves. And I don't think he was expecting to get paid any more. He's not pretending to be a superstar. He understands his position within this team, and he understands, I think, where this team's going to be in the next 2 years. He's not going to be greedy and want more and more and more, because he knows in order to be successful, right, as an entire team, that bag has to be shared around the table. And some guys' contracts are going to be coming up, and I think that is more important to him, to make sure that everyone eats so we can keep this team intact. And I also would like to add, Brian, I would like to add, and Steve, I'd like to add that I'm glad that he got this money too, because what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that he buys lots of gifts, and then he takes these gifts and he sends them to season ticket holders, because I want to make sure that the season ticket holders, like myself, make sure that they get nice, extravagant gifts. Because I mean, that hat, are you kidding me? Have you seen that hat, Brian and Steve? It says,
I've seen it.
It says gold, like, really? Get out of here. So I completely understand. Unlike your last co-host, who, I'm a season ticket holder. I didn't even get a hat, and I'm a fan ambassador. Let me tell you 25 times that I'm an ambassador and I rightfully deserve the gifts that they gave me. Shut up! You don't deserve none of that. Puke.
John, you wanted to say something?
Steve.
Wise words coming from the masked marvel from Idaho, El Keitho.
Yes.
El Keitho made a really, really good point as far as the money goes. Believe it or not, this is a pretty friendly contract. If he would have waited and got into free agency, he would have banked a lot more. This opens doors up for later on down the road with that salary cap going to skyrocket. We have room now. We thought we might lose one or two of these defensive linemen. Now we might only have to cut or to let go one of them. Maybe, just maybe, they can finagle it and be able to keep everybody together. Who knows? We know that both Chase Young and Montez Sweat is going to take a huge bag to keep them here, but that is
ways down the
3-4 years down the road. Okay.
Yeah.
We have Deron Payne coming up next. We also have Matt Ioannidis and Tim Settle.
You have McLaurin coming up too as well, right?
Yeah, McLaurin's coming up as well. They're probably going to have to extend him next year. We do not want to play this franchise tag game any longer. Okay. I thought it was a mistake franchising Sheriff for the second time. I'm glad they got this deal done. It was the right move for both. And it was looking pretty dire a few days prior to this. A lot of people in the know, John Keim included, did not think this deal was going to get done before camp started. But within about 12 hours, the two sides came together and said they both Jonathan Allen wants to be here, and that is key, man. That he wants to be here. Okay,
and he's the connection to that Alabama funnel that we used for the last 5 years that brought a lot of these really good players here. I think Payne will say the same thing.
Absolutely. Moving on, we had another signing just a few hours ago. The man Logan Thomas, and this one excites me as well. Yes, it's taken him a while to come on. I just think he needed the right coach and the right amount of playing time. I'm a big Virginia Tech fan. I was a big fan of his. He was a quarterback at Virginia Tech. Even when he gets drafted, I always pulled for him from afar. When he made that switch to tight end, I thought it was a great move for him. He just wasn't able to get on the field. Before last year, he only had 16 catches was his season high throughout his career.
Matt Stafford's a bum.
Yeah. But last year, I mean, he just came out of nowhere. Do I expect that he'll have as many receptions this year? No, I don't, but he's going to have more impact plays this year. He signed a 3-year, $24 million deal. And I think it's, I want to say it's 13 guaranteed. I might be wrong on that. But it's worth about $10 million a year, and if you think about it, I think Pete Haley wrote a story today, kind of broke down this contract and with what we paid him last year, what was only like $2.75 million.
A steal.
Yeah. And
flat out robbery.
Because listen to this, good tight ends are very, very hard to find.
Yes, they are.
Even mediocre tight ends are hard. They're few and far between. And
let's be honest. That's why we got rid of Keith. He had a dumpy ass.
No, that's true.
That's why you brought me on, because I definitely have a tight end.
Sorry, we're all over Jesse.
El Keitho, I'll start with you. What do you make of this Logan Thomas signing?
Well, Brian, I think it was a good call. I mean, listen, let's ink the guy now before he has another successful season and his market value continues to rise. So the right move was to go ahead and ink him now. What we're hoping for as fans is that he continues to have the same success that he had this past season. Because as you know, in the beginning, we all were like, who is this guy? Right? But then, as he continued to play and he played hard and he was catching the foosballs, right? And he was running them into the end zone. We're like, yay, go Logan Thomas. That's how I was. I mean, I was showing, I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was screaming. I was like, yeah, Logan Thomas. Yeah, touchdown.
The emotion is all over your face.
Yeah, you can just tell with the little shake of the mask that you're wearing. It's all over your face.
Absolutely. So
basically, I got received. I wanted to extend him last year during the middle of the season. I screamed it out. I tweeted it out, and I just saw. We almost everybody dumped on the signing. When we were like Logan Thomas, and we're like we still don't have a tight end. But the more and more he played, the better he got, and it's a good deal all around. John, what do you think of the signing?
I think based off of what you just said, a lot of people really need to start to understand that they know what they're doing. He was one of our first free agent signings, and we didn't really go after anybody that was a big, gigantic name. I mean, we signed him, we signed McKissick, and both of them came from the Lions, and both of them excelled. Him especially. He's now earned himself a new contract, and I'm glad for it. Good tight ends are hard to find, but at the same time, when you ask whether or not we'll see another 80 catch season, I'd like to, but at the same time, I recognize that a tight end of his caliber, somebody that can go up 12 feet in the air and catch the ball like he did in the back of the end zone when Smith Way put it up there. Who was that against? I can't even remember who it was against. I don't know, whatever. But you've seen the play. You see it in your head right now. I just can't remember who the other team was because I'm old and my memory fades.
Allen.
An older quarterback or a young quarterback, an older quarterback, not meaning Fitzpatrick, meaning a guy whose arm is starting to rag out or is already well ragged out like we had with Smith. A tight end is their best friend. So I don't know that we're going to see an 80 catch season, because I think if we do, Fitzpatrick isn't using the rest of his weapons as well as
we have too many other weapons on the field for him to we're going to see impact plays.
Right. And right. I don't think that it's a bad signing, even though I say that his role will maybe be diminished. And I think it's just a matter of we don't have enough balls to go around for everybody. Although I bet you Keitho does, because he drags his practically down by his knees.
Sure does. Keitho, you had something you would like to say?
Yeah, Idaho, baby. That's why I got big balls. Yeah, and I think people are failing to remember, or not necessarily failing to remember, but he had a successful season with arguably the worst quarterbacks in the league last season.
Yep.
Okay. So now that we might have some stability in this position, hopefully, maybe he does replicate that season. He was obviously a big part of the offense last year. So we'll see. I think it's a good move. The team is definitely getting it right, and that we appreciate as fans.
Yeah, no doubt. Like we were saying, to me, honestly, if he replicates his season like he did last year, I think we might be in a little bit of trouble. That's going to be, more checkdowns, and I think him just being a threat on the field, makes the difference. He's going to open up Terry McLaurin. He's going to open up Curtis Samuel. He's going to open up Adam Humphries and Diami Brown, because all of them are playmakers. And just him being on the field, that's a threat. That's going to take away a defender. So no matter how you look at it, it's a good signing. I think both of these signings combined, they are getting these deals done now. I truly believe they're working their way to get a big free agent or big trade for next year.
Rodgers. I don't want to say that name out loud too much.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, a good segue right there, John. Good segue. Right. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers.
I think you mean Steve.
I was going to say, I'm glad to find out that you're Brian.
Okay, Steve. The news today, I didn't get to watch much of it, but I saw it all on Twitter. they were following around old Aaron Rodgers because word got brought out that he was going to show up to camp. Okay, he's actually going to play. They worked out a contract. It worked out a deal for him to come and play again this year. I believe this is Rodgers' last ride with the Green Bay Packers. Steve, I'll start with you first. What do you make of this whole Rodgers ordeal and about the fact that the fucking media will fucking follow them around like rats?
Well, thank you, Brian. Honestly, that's the thing I took away from this the most is the fact that they're following his jet. They're at the airport looking in the front window of the jet. Maybe we can see him back there. Look, man, y'all want to watch some old videos of women or girls basically screaming at the Beatles? That's what y'all remind me of. Y'all are at the airport. Oh, it's there, Roger. Whatever. I know we used to follow Dan Snyder's jet around all over the place too. Which high-priced free agent is he going to sign? Look, I don't think there was any doubt he was going to play for the Packers this year, even though he played it as dramatically as he could. I think that he's a bit of a dick. I just think that that's part of his personality. He's a bit of a dick, and I think that he decides which way he wants things to be, and that's the way it's going to be, and fuck you if you don't like it. So, and this is a family values show, but Aaron Rodgers is that way, so don't blame me. But
I agree with you 100%.
I just don't want to hear it from the mom's league. I don't want to hear it.
He's a great football player. One of the best quarterbacks of all time in my eyes. One of them, not the far from it. But as a human being, I think he is pretty much of a prick. El Keitho, what do you think of this whole Aaron Rodgers ordeal?
I think it's stupid. I don't really care about Aaron Rodgers. You know why? Because I'm Fitzpatrick all the way. Fitzpatrick, he's my guy. I'm not worried about next year. I seen him. I seen everybody on Twitter talking about it. And they were like, could it be? Could it be his last season? He could, we're gonna be doing so well that he'll want to come here. Man, have we not learned anything? Just let those guys be great somewhere else because he's on the decline of his career. It's going to cost a lot of money. Let's just focus. And I say we focus on Fitzpatrick because right now that's what we should be focused on.
Did you just spit into your mask?
I did.
Bold words from the masked man from Idaho.
And it's wet all around. It's wet all around the lips.
Don't be picking on his culture now.
I just saw a spew just coming out.
I'll change your name if you do.
No, I'm being for real when I say this. I believe Aaron Rodgers will be wearing burgundy and gold next year.
Well, that's
a feeling.
Either see if that was true, then obviously I'd be very much behind it. I've said the words before. We just exponentially upgraded at quarterback, but that was Donovan McNabb, and boy was I fucking wrong. So, I also see the 49ers as a definite landing spot. He came from out there. Cal is out there. It's where he went to school.
They're going to dump on Trey Lance that quick.
Look, I'll tell you what. It's just the same thing that we hear from everybody else anywhere. For a chance to pick up Aaron Rodgers,
that's true. That is true.
Because I think Trey Lance is going to bust, but that's just me.
Hey, very well could. You very well could be right on that. He was a hard quarterback for me to really pin down, just for the fact that he didn't have much playing time. He played for a year and then one game. And I mean, the time that he did play, he was great. But then, he's playing in the FCS as well, too. And I don't care what you say, what a lot of pundits say, football is football. No, it's not. There's a lot more talent in the FBS, than the FCS.
Look, I'll tell you what, a guy that picked him off in, I think, week 3 just delivered me a package yesterday.
Oh, we're supposed to laugh there, Brian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So El Keitho, I mean, do you think Washington is making moves to sign a big time quarterback next season?
I mean, it could happen. It's a need. Will I hate if they
We
go
freed
get
up a lot.
Rodgers?
We freed up a lot of space by these two signings right here too.
Right. I mean, it could happen. Will I hate it? No. I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Does he want to come here? Are we good enough? We have to really have a positive season this year
Sure.
in order to reach out to even talk to the guy to get him to think that it's a good option, because he's obviously at the end of his career. He wants to win a Super Bowl. Can he do it with the Washington football team? And you know what I think? Absolutely he can, because we're the burgundy and gold, baby.
All right. You have
Tough talk from the last marble.
So moving on, I guess
so
she's kind of
He is. He's very good with the segues.
He is good. Great job, Brian.
He segued right from a skunk is in my house to I have copperheads in my trash can or whatever it was. I ran over a bee's nest.
My future ex-wife, Annie Agar or Agar, I don't know how you pronounce her last name.
Whoa. Settle down.
A golf outing with our coach, Ron Rivera. And she put out a little snippet of the video and talking about the new name. And Coach gave out some of his favorites. Would anybody like to guess what that was? El Keitho?
Red Wolves.
Absolutely. He says he really likes the Red Wolves.
I would just like to say I was also going to choose that one.
But he also said, well, I kind of like the Red Tails too, the history behind it.
Oh, see, he's talking to Annie when he said that.
Yeah.
That's when he winked over at her. Yeah, I like a red tail.
So what do we make of Ron Rivera? Or first, I should ask, is Ron Rivera in the conversation when it comes to the football team's name?
Maybe.
I don't think he cares.
I kind of don't either. But I want to know, because just people off Twitter, because they're freaking out when that video.
Wait. People are freaking out on Twitter?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe
Holy
it.
Shit.
I'm sure that ass bag Keith was saying how they're terrible people and that they're a cult and all they do is and how he's not going to howl because he's too good to howl.
That's true. He also said something like that before.
He was also telling people that their lunch looked like vomit.
Yeah. I can't stand that guy. I can't even believe you guys even had that idiot on the show. Unbelievable. I'm
sorry. Listen, I figured by the time I got maybe 12 episodes under my skin, I could throw him out of here, and I did.
Haters will think that it's really Keith behind this mask, but no.
Keith's gone. Keith's gone. He's fucking gone, guys.
Gone.
So,
although there are white Sasquatches in Idaho, I'm just wanting to point that out.
Yeah. El Keitho is here to stay. Everybody, just putting that out there. So, listen, me personally, I don't think Ron has shit to do with the fucking name. It's not in his purview whatsoever. He's football. Daniel Snyder, Jason Wright, Tanya Snyder, that's their bag. If Ron likes the name, he likes the name. Everybody has a name that they like, players have names that they like. Ron has, so I don't think he's not dropping a hint. Okay. There's probably a 99.9% chance that Red Wolves is not going to be the name. If
that's a bold prediction.
Listen. If anything, it's going to be the Wolves. Red is not going to be in the conversation.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, if it's the Wolves, now I can make it a gray wolf or a red wolf or a black wolf or any kind of wolf I want, right? So it's up to me, freedom of choice, right?
Exactly.
That's what everybody's all about these days.
Yeah.
So
I like the pink wolves.
Listen,
pink wolves?
Cool. Yeah.
Listen, first of all, Ron's not going to leak a name to begin with.
No,
okay?
Absolutely not.
Also, with that being said, if you asked and interviewed Ron, hey, Ron, what do you think about the name Washington Nutsacks? Chances are, right, to be politically correct.
I was going to ask if you've been to Idaho.
Steve. Steve, I just don't understand your jokes.
I can't wait for camp to start.
I don't know if this is going to work out, guys. I don't know. But anyways, as I was saying, until Steve interrupted me, okay, Ron's going to say anything to appease the fans. Did you really think that Ron was going to be like, everyone's saying Red Wolves. I don't really like that name. No, that's not going to happen. So again, to be fair, if anyone sees Ron, just say, hey, Ron, what do you think about the Washington Nutsacks? Chances are he's going to tell you, I like Nutsacks.
Maybe I'll ask him on Friday when I get. Now, I'm going to camp with Keith. We are still friends, so we get to enjoy the weekend together. And we're going to be at camp. So if I do see Ron with in our VIP tent, I will definitely ask him about the Washington Nutsacks.
Listen,
I would make two predictions. One, Keitho shows up and body slams Keith. I'd like to see that.
That's going to happen because I can tell you.
Two, if you ask Ron Rivera what he thinks of the Nutsacks, he's calling security.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, bring your alcohol with you, Jesse, because I'd like to know the number of shots that Keith mentions the name Keith and how much Keith loves himself. It's unbelievable.
I would probably be drunk in the first 5 minutes.
That's what makes the puppet show more fun. It makes the puppet show's taking on a life of its own. We're gonna have to do some cutout hats and stuff for you guys.
What I will say though is that Ron wasn't prompted by the Red Wolves. He actually said, "Oh, I like the Red Wolves." Name that's been mentioned a lot, and I found it interesting because a lot of celebrities and former players, they actually like that name too.
Fred Smoot is real heavy right now.
He started it.
He started it, but he's back pushing it.
Well, I will say Fred Smoot did not start with the Red Wolves. He came in like probably a week after it started and really pushed it. But former players, I think even John Allen said that he really liked the Red Wolves as well too. Who knows if they're listening to actual players and former players. I still believe it's going to be a name that no one's even really mentioned. But who knows? I just want the shit to be over with. All right, enough
cabbage farmers.
Yeah, enough name talk. I want to get because Deshaun Watson's been into the news very recently. He's kind of been quiet for the past couple of weeks. We found out that there was 10 females that have actually
women
made criminal complaints against him. Okay. I think Schefter said that the Philadelphia Eagles are interested in him and that the Texans are definitely willing to trade him. With these new complaints, I don't think there is a team that should even or can even touch him right now, since it's become criminal. John, I'll start with you. What do you think about this whole Watson ordeal and the possibility that the Philadelphia Eagles wants to go up and grab him?
Criminal complaints is an entirely different animal than a threat of a civil lawsuit, which is what we were talking about before. So, this means now the police are involved. So they're going to be definitely investigating whether there was a crime committed or 10 crimes committed. So the possibility of an arrest does exist. If he was just going through civil problems, right, like Snyder is, you take that risk. With criminal complaints, I'm not sure that you do, although the timing of them, you got to be suspect in today's world. Frankly, I see a lot of fans on Twitter that talk about we need to go get him, and I see these people that say that if you don't see the value, then you just don't know football. Look, man, for us, it's cost prohibitive. For us, it is 3 years worth of high picks. All right, it's not like Philly. they've already made these trades. They've already made these deals. They can go ahead and spend this capital now, and it doesn't hurt them 2 years down the line. For us, we have 4 years until we can start to recoup and build around this guy, unless what we have stays in place and gets better. So you got to look at the big picture. He's a great quarterback, but you do need something with him.
We can't touch him. Our organization,
cost prohibitive.
It's not even in. It's not even that. Even if we had just 3 first-round picks laying around, as a Washington football organization, cannot touch him just because of the scandals that's been going on for the past year. Actually, the past 15 years.
We used to know this guy that knew Jason Wright. He could really give us some insight.
Yeah, he'd be good for this segment. But for real though, there's no way the Washington football team, if he was available for free, we could not take him. You cannot do that. You're taking 20 steps back with all the steps forward that we've taken. Keitho, what do you have to say on this whole Watson situation?
First of all, Brian, let's think about this. This football team has been under scrutiny for sexual harassment. Cheerleaders have come against this team. Okay. People are coming out, and this team has all these current issues that they're trying to get past and get over with all these firings. What in the world makes us think that we want to bring in a guy who allegedly or is being accused? This team has no interest in rejoining the circus show. And Deshaun Watson coming into town, whether he's innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter. This team wants nothing to do with that.
You can't.
Because it's too close to home, and this team is trying to get away from that. So even if we had the stock to go and get this guy, it wouldn't be the right move. People would have to question Ron's culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Ron is not going to put himself in jeopardy by making a type move like this. So we might as well just quit thinking about it. Now, as far as the Eagles, who cares? They like rehabilitating.
Listen,
these QBs. I mean, Mike Vick.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I saw
he did all right.
I saw a tweet that someone was upset. We don't want Deshaun Watson in our division when we have the chance to go get him. Think about it. If we're afraid to play Deshaun Watson, we shouldn't be playing football.
Right.
I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. You can't be afraid of the quarterback.
We got 3 of the top QBs that in the league that we are playing this season. We cannot shy away.
No,
we cannot. This is going to measure our success as a team.
I don't care. I don't care if Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen was in our division, or Pat Mahomes was in our division.
We got all 4 of them.
I don't care. I don't care.
That's right.
Listen,
look, I tell you, we won Super Bowls when Randall Cunningham was playing up there.
Sure.
So you can't be afraid of what the competition.
You had Troy Aikman, you had Phil Sims.
Troy Aikman whipped our ass. I'm sorry, he beat us.
You're right. But I'm just saying, you can't be afraid to play these quarterbacks. Otherwise, you're not gonna fucking win anything.
I'm gonna quote Ric Flair: "To be the man, you gotta beat the man." Woo!
Common sense coming through the burgundy and gold mask of this stallion from Idaho. Keitho.
Yeah, so Deshaun Watson.
Poor Jesse.
I mean, he is going to.
Trying, isn't he?
He's
going to. He's in a world of trouble, and fuck it. If he goes to the Phillies, who fucking cares? But no one can touch him right there.
Right.
There's no way. There's no fucking way. It's not. Listen. Okay, yeah, there's allegations. People are like, well, you got to figure out what happened. It's not fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 5 women that's saying this shit. Okay.
10.
There's 23 that have lawsuits against him, and then another 10 that's filed fucking criminal complaints against him. There's something there. I mean, 100%.
Right. If this was something that the Texans were just putting out to try to discredit him, for one, you have to really wonder what the fuck, why.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell is it? What did he do to them? Did he fuck the owner's wife or something on television? I missed that show. Did you see it? I didn't see it.
I missed it. My DVR didn't pick it up.
Mine either, because this is a family values show, and I would have not wanted to admit that. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If there's that much smoke, something's going on. Something's going on.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It is what it
well,
is.
let Philly. I mean, they've got the capital.
They do. They've
got what it takes.
They're in a position to make a move, and I think that's what we're doing too. We're just doing it in a different way,
right?
And I mean, we're not going to live off Ryan Fitzpatrick's. I understand the talent that Deshaun Watson has, but Ron is big on the type of people he has in his building, and he's not going to want a sex offender in his building. I'm sorry. It's not.
He didn't want a guy that was cross-dressing in his press conferences in his building.
There you go. I mean, shit.
Moving on. Anybody can call me any kind of name they want about Cam Newton. That dude dresses like he looks ridiculous.
Oh, you don't even get me started on Newton, man. Oh,
good God. For him. I mean, great if you could pull it off. But Jesus Christ, you're walking around.
But he can't. He couldn't even pull it off. He looked ridiculous every fucking week, man. It's fucking.
I don't
ridiculous.
Get it. He looks like he should be coming out of a hotel room going, "I made a bed for you, sir. I made up the bed for you."
And he wasn't doing it to be funny. He thought it looked good, and it just doesn't, man. Jesus.
Whatever. He can have fun.
I want to move on to these vaccination rates. So the NFL wants all teams to be over 85% vaccinated. And right now, the NFL as a whole, I heard this on the radio, is 85% vaccinated. Right. That's awesome.
Yes.
But the Washington football team is 60% vaccinated.
Pathetic.
Ron Rivera had a press conference today, and he is fucking pissed off. And everything was going great until someone asked the question about the vaccinated players. And Ron Rivera has to wear a mask because of his immune deficiencies. He's still battling cancer.
It was stage 3. Yeah, it wasn't like they just caught it right in the beginning. It was stage 3.
Exactly. Keitho, I want to start with you. What's your whole take on our players? Since we did so good last year, we were front runners as a team in the whole COVID protocols. We shut the scouts down. They closed down the buildings. Every one of the staff, not only in the office but in the coaching staff, they are vaccinated. Every one of them. Keith, what do you make of our team being? We're in last place. We're
60%, right?
Yeah, we're the lowest in the NFL. Keitho, what do you think? What's the issues here? What's going on?
I think some people are just scared to get the vaccine. They're uninformed. They feel a type of way.
Ron's brought professionals in.
Right. I think what's going to end up happening is you'll start to see it increase, especially as the team gets together, as a whole. Ron's going to be able to address the team privately. And I think Ron's going to explain the importance of possibly why they should get vaccinated. And I think guys are going to see a different point of view. I think right now they're thinking about themselves, which is fine. But also, I think when he shares his story, again, especially to the newcomers, right, that may have not have been vaccinated, chances are they're going to go and get it done because they recognize that this is a team sport and everybody's got to commit to this. So even though we're in last place, I do feel when everyone gets together, there's going to be a different conversation given. And I think that people are slowly but surely, these guys are going to go out and they're going to get it done.
Yeah, I think it's selfish. It's got me pissed off, to be honest with you. I don't understand unless you have some kind of health issue and a doctor says you should not get vaccinated. I think everybody in the fucking world should be vaccinated. This coronavirus is no fucking joke. Nope. This new Delta variant, you could still get the virus with the vaccination. Right. Okay. Right. But this lowers the the symptoms, and it helps with the spread, man. It's to me, it's common fucking sense. I mean, seriously, it's common fucking sense, and it pisses me off so fucking much that they're not fucking vaccinated. I wish the fucking goddamn NFL mandated it. I know they can't, but they fucking should.
They did for coaches. They mandated. It's mandated for coaches. They work for the NFL. But see, pardon me, I should have done that while you were talking. The players and the Players Association, their union negotiates the rules for them, right? So that's why it's different for coaches. That's why we've seen a couple of coaches fired, or
they weren't necessarily fired.
They didn't fulfill the contract.
Yeah, they said, "Oh, I think 2 of them quit." They're like, "All right, well, I'm going to quit. I'm not getting a vaccine. Fuck you." Well, you know, fuck them. Who cares?
Well, yeah. I mean, go sell tires or whatever. But it's. I agree with you. It is selfish, and it's selfish to the point where the number of people that are really seeing any kind of side effects that are vastly bad for you, as compared to the number of people that are seeing what's happening to the unvaccinated, it's not even close. I've had people say to me, "Oh, don't you get it? You're the experiment." Well, okay, great, but you're the control group. How's it going for you? It ain't going fucking well. It isn't going fucking well. So, in terms of the football team, these are high freaking trained athletes. Their bodies are like freaking thoroughbred horses. All right. They are perfectly tuned athletes for the most part, for whatever their size is. So taking this vaccine, it's not going to cause them any serious side effects that's going to affect anything. The fact of the matter is the rules for unvaccinated players and the rules for vaccinated players are vastly different. Right. If you have, I mean, granted, last year we were very good about making sure that we didn't have anybody that was exposed, except for the one Dwayne Haskins, that fucking Steelers quarterback. That moron went out to and partied with his stupid wife that beat his head in last week. So other than that, we did great. But do you want to say, okay, well, we can do that twice? All right, we're going to Las Vegas. Excuse
me.
With
fire there. You're playing with fire there.
Right. This is a preventable problem, and it's a preventable problem with very little risk involved. And I just don't get. People are so misinformed, and I always get a kick out of these people that say you're just a sheep. Well, you're controlled by fear. What the fuck does that even mean?
It's
fear controls.
The fact that the NFL. And I'm glad they did this, and I hope they stick to it. And if your team's not 85% vaccinated and you have an outbreak within your organization, not only do you not get paid, but the team that you're supposed to play, the game's forfeited, so it's a loss. But the team that you're supposed to play, they don't get paid. I mean, if that isn't an incentive enough money, then you just need to go home. Just fucking go home, because there's plenty of other people that want your job that is vaccinated, and that is going to come into play when cut downs come in. If there is a vaccinated player that might be just a little bit worse than an unvaccinated player, or they might be on the bubble, they're taking the fucking vaccinated player.
I agree.
Every fucking time.
Let me ask Keitho. Up in Montana, you guys fuck a lot of sheep. So are there vaccines that you guys are taking to keep you safe?
I wasn't ready for that, Steve.
Hey, you were ready enough to remember my name.
And I'm from Idaho. Good. I'm from Idaho.
What did I say? Indiana, Illinois, New Jersey? What did I say? Montana.
You just said New Jersey. I hate you. Listen, guys, I'm all for personal choice in this situation. Okay. I know you guys are not big time. Listen, I'm for personal choice. However, when I say personal choice, there's a sense of responsibility that needs to be taken into effect. Okay.
The adult effect. Right.
If you are working, if you're working from home and you choose that you do not want to get the vaccine, whatever, that's on you, because you're not exposing yourself all over the place. Okay. But when you're in a team environment and you're constantly around people and you're traveling and you're everywhere, okay, you should be vaccinated. That's just the way that I see it.
I think the unvaccinated people are the sheep, to be honest with you. And the vaccinated people are just the realists, and we can go and live our fucking lives now. We're getting back to normal.
Well,
and
exactly.
The fact that the rules, John said was 100% right. The rules for unvaccinated players, I hope they make them so fucking uncomfortable. I want them to be miserable. And for the fact when Montez Sweat came out and said that, I haven't gotten COVID yet, so I don't need the vaccine.
Well, he had a cardiac issue, though, right? Didn't he have a heart issue? He was still misinformed, but yeah, he had something that made him think twice.
Listen, guys, you're fucking stupid if you don't take the vaccine. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
Look, the world needs to get back out again. Okay, it needs to return to normal. If this is the way to do it, then let's do it. Because I don't know about you, but I'm tired of wearing a mask.
I was wondering how that worked for you up in Idaho.
Is it hot in Idaho?
It's definitely hot in Idaho. I mean, try wearing this mask all day long,
especially around sheep shearing time.
Steve, I hope I see you. We're gonna
now comes to the part of our show where
you're gonna get the people's elbow.
Our old co-host. Our old co-host used to have a segment. It was called Keith's Corner. Keitho, let me ask you this. It was a segment where Keith would have the microphone. We would not know, me or John would not know what he was about to say, but he would go off on tangents or just talk or complain or bitch or talk about himself or his ambassadorship or his budding friendship with Jason Wright or himself. Would you like to carry on this segment, Keitho?
No.
Call it Keitho's Cabana.
No. That's why he had that segment. You know why? Because that's all he... Oh, hold on. That's why he had that segment. Because all he did was talk about himself. I mean, are you kidding me? Keith's Corner? Brian, why even give him the opportunity? Because... he's going to bitch and complain.
We can change the name.
I'll tell you why. Because we found out awesome things like that you can give away too much money to a stripper and still get it back. And we also found out that, you don't wash your feet. People don't wash their feet.
And we also found out don't shit yourself wearing white pants.
When you're going to a wedding. When you're in a wedding.
Listen, I personally have nothing to complain about because we in my country of Idaho, we don't complain, right? We just have big balls.
Land of potatoes that fall between our legs.
You get it? Redskins, potatoes. I'm just kidding. Circle. Listen, no, Jesse. Brian, this show isn't about me, Keitho. This show is about us. Not today.
Okay.
The show is about us.
Fair enough. Well, we know that training camp has officially started. They did their physicals today, and they get on the field tomorrow. Go around the room, and I'll start with Keitho first. What do you want to see out of this training camp?
Jesus Christ. How many times do we have to answer this question, Brian? What I want out of training camp is to not be...
This is your first time here. What do you mean you haven't answered this question? I haven't asked it for you before.
Oh, yeah, you're right. What I want out of training camp is to make sure that my balls don't get sunburned.
Okay. There's some SPF 75. You can buy it at CVS. I think they're running a sale now.
If Steve is there, hopefully he'll apply it for me.
I understand they have dwarves that you can rent for such things.
Anyways, to seriously answer your question, Jesse, I want to watch the QBs. I want to see how the team responds around Fitzpatrick. I want to see Diami Brown. And what I want to do is I want to come back to this podcast and I want to pretend like I know what the fuck I was looking at. And I want to give a bunch of hot takes. And hopefully people will take me seriously because I love the Bleeding Burgundy podcast. And I'm glad you brought me on, Brian.
Keitho's Hot Take Kitchen.
Passionate patter from the professional.
Woo!
John, what do you want to see out of training camp?
The masked mashed potato. What do I want to see out of training camp? I want to see videos of the puppet show. That I want to see. All right. See, this is why you have to listen to every episode. Otherwise, this goes right on by you.
No clue what you're talking about.
Look, I know it's the corny and the most haphazard answer that anybody can pick up. It's the easy one, but I don't want to see any injuries. I don't want to see anybody nursing too much, and I certainly don't want to see anybody bust up a knee or something weird like a Reuben Foster. Oh, I put my foot down and stepped on an acorn or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't want to see anything like that. I know I should know because I'm part of the Washington Twitter family and we're so rabid that we know everything. But there's only 2 preseason games this year, right?
3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I want to see is I want to see health at the quarterback position. I want to see a healthy competition at the quarterback position, even though I know Fitzpatrick's it's his job to lose. And if he does, it's not good. But I want to see how he brings the other guys along, how he progresses the other guys. And as I've said before, I really want to watch the wide receiver battle. And I think that's going to make our young defensive backs. I know we shored up the cornerback position, but we still got guys like Danny Jackson that play so scrappy inside that can play corner, and they do so well. I'd like to see their game get raised. And I think watching this wide receiver crew in practice is going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm probably the only one, but I'm intrigued by the special teams unit this year, particularly the punt returners and kick returners. Who's going to be back there, especially catching punts? Is Dommy Brown going to catch punts? Is Adam Humphries going to catch punts? And the other position I'm going to be seriously looking at is the linebacker position. Kevin Sheehan, and usually I take his side on a lot of things, but he said something on his radio show today that I just want to punch through the speaker and ring him on his neck. He said that John Bostic was actually played very well last season. And I don't know what the fuck he was actually looking at. He played horrible. He may have gotten a little bit better at the end of the year, but I'm hoping that somebody steps up and John Bostic gets cut because I'm tired to see the back of his jersey for taking bad angles or just being slow, because he is slow. So I'm interested to see how Jamin Davis commands the huddle. Hoping he will, do good for us at the middle linebacker position. Yeah. Y'all guys got anything else?
No, I think I'm ready for camp. I want to watch and see what happens. And I always watch camp with with my freaking knuckle in my mouth.
They're supposed to be, no doubt. There's supposed to be live streams.
Team site.
Yeah, on the My Team's site, or I think you can do it also on NBCSportsWashington.com. So maybe you'll see me on TV because I'll be running around acting like a fool.
It would beat the living shit out of the Olympics.
This is Snorefest this year, man. The Olympics are a fucking Snorefest.
Honestly, I prefer the Winter Olympics anyway. Any sport that requires a fucking crash helmet. In the Winter Olympics, they're just trying not to die as fast as possible.
That's true. That's
in
true.
a lot of ways, a lot of these things.
That's true. Oh, I do. I like. I like the golf. I like the soccer. Obviously, but U.S. Men's soccer always sucks. So I follow the women's soccer and badminton.
Yeah. The weird sports, badminton and ping pong, are fun to watch.
Yeah. I actually really like what's the curling in the winter. That's my jam right there. Curling is a fun sport to watch. Matter of fact,
that's kind of strange.
But that is going to be it for this week's episode.
I don't think El Keitho approved of the curling.
No curling.
Good God.
Curling is like, how do you shuffle a cup of coffee down to the end of the bar without spilling anything?
Yeah, that's it, man.
I know one. Speaking of curling, I know Keith and Jesse are going to curl together on Friday.
Oh, Lord.
Sock puppets.
That's going to be all for the Bleed and Birdie podcast. You can check us out on YouTube,
Jesse
on
hates
Google
us, John.
Pods, Apple Pods, every pod place in the pod world. And yeah, we will be checking in. We're going to be checking in from camp as well. We'll probably go live on Twitter. And we'll also put out some a couple. I think each night we'll probably put out a little 20-30 minute recap
puppet show
of a puppet show. So yeah, you can catch me at JESSYS24 on Twitter, John at Bang Radio Hour, and El Keitho. I'm not sure he has a Twitter account yet, but
it's at Idaho Giant Balls.
That's it. Okay. All right. So you can catch
Idaho
Giant Balls.
Yeah, some sovereign citizens going, God damn, suddenly I got popular.
One thing's for sure, Brian and Steve, is you can catch these hands when I see you. How about that?
All right.
Geez, he's talking this stuff.
He's talking. He's already starting to talk by himself. I don't know. We might have to have a production meeting about that. All right. We'll see y'all next week.